15 seconds. Guidance is internal. 12, 11, 10, 9. Ignition sequence start. 6, 5, 4, 3, 2, 1, 0. All engine running. We have a liftoff. Liftoff on Apollo 11.
Shadow. 4 forward, drift into the right a little. 30 seconds. Forward drift. Contact light. Okay, engine stop.
Tranquility Base here. The Eagle has landed.
Roger, Tranquility. We copy you on the ground. You got a bunch of guys about to turn blue. We're going to be busy for a minute.
Armstrong is on the moon. Neil Armstrong, 38-year-old American, standing on the surface of the moon. On this July 20th, 1969.
That's one small step for man, one giant leap for mankind.
So in most rituals they create, a link to Janus has to be hidden, but also seen to whomever as the eyes. Take the latest incident that's hit the news. It's everywhere. The bridge was named after poet Francis Scott Key. Emphasis on the key. The ship was named Dahlia or Dali, which means demon. It hit the 11 pillars, and here's just a little example showing you that it means demon. So it hit the pillars, the 11s. The time of the incident was 1:28, another 11. The ship is owned by Grace Ocean Pte Limited. One etymology for grace in Christian theology means basically the spontaneous unmerited gift of the divine favour in the salvation of sinners. Who's the sinners? Who are they salvating? Salvation, and the ship's connected to Salvador Dali. Salvation Door. And coincidentally, Salvador Dali was born on the 11th and died in January. Any more links can we find? And he painted about a broken bridge. The actual title was The Broken Bridge and the Dream. And here's a picture for you so you can see it now. Surrealism, I believe, I think. I'm no artist or critic or critique. So the ship was christened on the 5th of January. Again, another coincidence. That date is known as Compitalia, held in honour of the Lars Compitales, household deities of the crossroads. Go on, what are you thinking? Ship's etymology was demon, right? And the day is a crossroads festival. Anyone getting a deal with a crossroad demon? I'm getting them vibes. What say thee? Now, lions are tied to doorways and Janus. The ship was bound for Sri Lanka. Here's the flag. Do you notice anything? Come on, it's not hard. Yep, you have a lion. It has a lion on it. Duh. But where is the other lion? Remember, there's always two on a doorway. Now the ship that crashed was registered in the port of Singapore. Etymology of Singapore comes from the Malay, the name meaning Singapura, which is believed to have been derived from Sanskrit, meaning, yep, you got it, Lion City. And Singapore's iconic symbol is what's known as the merlion. And here's an image for you now so you can actually see it. So you can see. What am I going to say next? You got it? There's the lions. There's your lions. There's the two lions connected. Again, 11. And as you know, the bridge was opened in March 1977. The incident was March, and the gap from both dates is 47 years. 4 and 7 is, yep, you got it, 11. The bridge's clearance is 56 metres. That dang 11 again. People, what will they say? Just another coincidence. Now the next clip is another significant event in our recent history connected to the God of Gods. They locked down the world and made the masses two-faced. Do you remember the time? It's so in your face. It's all to the God of Gods. I mean, just look at the first date of the so-called first death. I'll highlight it now and zoom in. January the 11th. If that's not a ritual shoved in your face, I don't know what is, guys. I've been showing this for the years, and these are just from old videos that I've made. So we all must remember these images that they were showing you on media, the social media, the news, everything. It was everywhere. And they were doing these testing everywhere. Now, where would they send these tests? What was the machine called that did the testing? Oh, that is a no-brainer. Oh yeah, it's named after the God of Gods. Testing it, the safe and traceable PCR called Janus. My God, can you not get any more in your face than that? So I want to show you a little geometry now that has appeared in my old videos. I'm not going to read them out, but just have a look at them and see what the number adds to, and just tell me what you notice that connects them all. So here's the first, adds to 11. Second one, the name itself adds to 11. And then another full name adds to, you got it, 11. And something they like to use quite a lot lately, and at the time it's mutated, adds to, yep, you got it, 11. Guys, that's just, again, I'm sick of saying it. A pure coincidence? Not. So you can just see why this topic so intrigues me. So I'm going to do something I've never ever done before on video, and that's the spell etymology of Janus. So this is an exclusive. So Ya from Janus becomes Ia or Ya, which has served as the basis of god names from many cultures. They are Ya, Iha or Aya, Yahweh, Yoveh, Jehovah, Allah, Uranus, and Oans are but just a few. So you can see the significance. And Ya or Ia in Greek is, guess what? Number 11, L11. That's just a coincidence. And Ya or Ia literally means ending. So it's intriguing, isn't it? And Ianos is Janus in Latin, and etymologically is tied to the Sanskrit Jana. Now Jana is a metaphorical sense of a journey to awakening. Maybe the term Dhyanama or Jahama, chariot, where the vehicle itself serves as an extended metaphor for the eightfolded path. So you're talking, wow. So basically Janus is the path to enlightenment, hence why the tunnel is associated with them. We'll see that later. Janus is the path, the bridge, hence why all prayers go through him or her. Ianos, arcade, covered passageway. What have we done about chambers and passageways lately? And you can see Janos, to, go in, travel, cognate with Old Church Slavonic, meaning to travel. So you can see why research and taking the path is tied to Janos. Now the nus can become or come from the word nu or nut, which nu or nut is one of the 8 deities of the Ogdod, representing ancient Egyptian primordial chaos. And there's an image now. Who's been doing videos on chambers? Who's been telling you what Janos is this realm? We're in the enclosed dome. Hey, but I'll not say anything. And Ovid says his twofold appearance is itself a picture of transformation, considered at the very moment of its starting point. No transfiguration is more radical than the original one, from chaos to cosmos. I've told you why people don't research this topic. Ovid states Janos is the root of the universe. Why would these people say this? Ovid was the first poet to assign great significance to the term chaos. And when I say chaos, obviously most of you would have thought, hey, the Elites or the Elshites, talk about order out of chaos. Here's an old clip I want to show you. As Janos is the god of doorways, portals, etc., amongst many, many things, you'd expect him to appear on some ancient doors. Now this is the Hittite doors, the Hittite civilization. Now many will have seen it as this, the double-headed eagle. That appears on that door. So it's important. And as you can see, Janos is known as that double-headed eagle. Also, they mention Jupiter, another name that you can add to the list. And there you have it, guys. The double-headed eagle, 33 311s. It's right there. It's Janos. That's how significant Janos is. So while I'm here, a derivative of Janos is the name John. Have a guess who the patron saints of Freemasonry are. Come on, guys. I know you know it. Yep. St. John the Baptist and St. John the Evangelist. Two. The 11, the doorway, the portal. Remember, Janus's number is 11. This is one of the oldest symbols in Masonry. It shows you right there, guys, Always makes me go wow when I see this. Again, guys, another significant piece of his story is this event. Again, tied to Janus and the number 11. It's been right in your face. I've been showing you this for years, and hopefully this will help it to sink in. So let's get back to the spell etymology, because we've got loads more. Nus, from obviously Janus, also comes from nous or nous, means mind, reason, also ship or vessel. Now, here's the wow for me. We have to have a wow, surely. We do, Paul, we do. According to Plotinus, whom is one of the fathers of Neoplatonism, they reveal something intriguing. Plotinus identifies nous or nous as mind, reason, intellect with the demiurge from Plato's Timaeus. In this way, Plotinus' concept of nous or nous is connected and even coincides with Plato's demiurge, as well as with Aristotle's thought out thought. So that is a wow for me. In Janus, the nous or the nus is connected to the demiurge. And another part of that word nous or nous, according to Neoplatonism, is its logos, because obviously it's the word, it's the thought. Now here's an old video that I did talking about some weird connection with, you'll just see. So logos is tied to the word, right? And remember John 1:1, which blew me away. It was both Janus and his number 11. In the beginning was the word. That, as we know, is logos. And the word was with God, and the word was God. So whatever the word is God. Now what I found is not only just shocked me to my roots, I'm just like, no way. I can't believe it. So as you know, I like working with words. So I looked for the anagram of word, and the best one I could get was DORW, because it really sounds like door, like a little accent. And people always talk about Idrisil as the tree. Well guys, this will blow you away. The Proto-Indo-European word for oak is DORW, door, and that became the word for a door. So the oak is a doorway between worlds, as it lives between the worlds. Tell me that isn't wow. And as I've shown you in previous videos, Janus is also known as the oak, and I am the door now makes you think, wow. John is Giano is Janus, and Janus is the god of doorways and is tied to the oak tree. Could you not get any more wow than that? So the word translates anagrams into DORW, door, and that was the old name for the oak tree that got made to be used as what we say now as a door. So I've connected the word of God to the door. Just wow. I'm still wowing, guys. I'm just so excited. So not only is Janus name etymologically connected with chaos, but also now the word, the thought, the logos, the beginning. Let's get back to some Ovid. I'm finding some good stuff, Anna, that I've read before and it just didn't compute. So Janus tells Ovid about his almighty power. These is Janus's own words according to obviously Ovid. The universe, a power which expresses itself in overseeing every transition. So Janus sees over everything, as I've talked about. Every transition, every opening and closing, both of mortal and immortal beings. Wow. Hence the Janus links in all rituals the Elites conduct. It's common sense now that I've showed you this, isn't it? Now, again from Janus's words from Ovid, Janus said, whatever whatever you see, sky, sea, cloud, earth, all things are begun and ended by my hand. So tell me that's not a wow. Absolutely blew my mind when I seen that. And if you remembered in it, there's some other things. The ancients call me chaos, since I am of the first world. His words again, I am. Where have we heard that before? So this is why I posted on social media early in the week, but I'm going to show you this first. So see this on the screen? It's just a Bible verse. I am the way and the truth and the life. So he's saying, Jesus, God, who you want to put down to this, I'm telling you it's Janus. I'm telling you they have hid this in there. Who, have I said etymologically, Janus' name means the path, means the chamber, means everything that is described in this one verse. Consivious, life, truth. Well, we know truth is tied to confidence and fights. I am the way. It just blew me away. And for you guys out there who don't want to believe this or want to believe in more coincidences, John is a derivative of Janus. So Janus, John, and add those numbers. Add those numbers for me. 1 had 4, it's 5. 5 had 6 is, oh wait, 11. So not only have I showed you this is Janus' words from Ovid, you can see on the screen, they're telling you, I am the way, I am the truth and the life. John, Janus, and his numbers add to 11. I got the goosebumps. And I've seen that verse many times and included it many times in videos. But when you start putting etymologically, the spell etymology of Janus' name, path, truth, life, consivious, I am. Remember, Janus' oldest name that I have found is I am. Now in midweek on social media, I was just basically, and this is not to be taken as fact, this is just me doodling. So I is Janus' oldest name, AI, some can also say, adds to number 11 in Greek also. So put IA on the screen, and the old letter that they used to use for water, waves, and energy, or anything moving, was the symbol that you're seeing now. But that symbol later became mem, and the letter M. So you can see when Janus' name, the movement, the transition, I am the way, is moving with the wave, with the water, became later in life, I am. And I just thought, isn't that uncanny? Because I'm doing this video about Janus, and obviously I knew about this, I am the way and the truth and the life, John 14.6, the verse, and his name, IA, in moving with the waves, could have become I am. That's just my theory on that, but the other bit that I'm showing you is, again, it's just my perspective on it. This is what I see, others will see other things, and everyone is entitled to whatever they believe. But people are automatically under the assumption that Janus is bad. I'm not, because I've researched it. That's why I said to you guys, research it, see it. You'll find for yourself. But that's just blew my mind. And while we're talking about this, let's not forget about the other John, Janus' verse, John 10:1-10, obviously more L11s. But the significance of I am, with which we've just covered, but I am the door. Tell me, how do people not associate and see this now with Janus? I've been talking about I am the door for years, but now we sat and put everything together like I'm doing in this video that maybe I've not covered about Spelletymology of Janus being I am, and obviously the path, chaos, everything that I'm going to talk about and have talked about, and you see verses like this. Tell me, is that not so far in your face? it's coming out the back of your skull. It's being smacked through that fast. It's just wow. So back to Ovid, and this will be maybe near the end because I've done a lot in this video and I've still not done my thoughts. So again, in his own words, he states, yeah, this is Janus obviously, he is the governance of the turning of the poles. Of the turning poles. Now that got me thinking, hey Paul, do you remember a long time ago, many years now, you found 2 islands in this realm, both called Janus. One was in Antarctica and one of them was in Greenland. Opposite poles of sorts, opposite ends of this realm, whatever shape you want to think about it. They're opposite each other, like 2 faces. And one of them was Janus in Greenland, as you can see it on the screen, and the other one was Janus Island in Antarctica. Could this be what they're referring to? He is the 2 poles, and these islands, like I've talked about, could be gateways to more land, or as I've said in the videos, like the poles, the electric poles, how the current works in this realm, how the energy is created. That just blew me away, that, guys. It really did. And you tie that together with, remember with my old spell etymology that was in the realm of 11 video that I did many moons ago, and electric meant the jurisdiction of El. It's funny that, isn't it, now that you're talking about and putting all these words like he governs the poles in this realm, and he is the Baal, he is the earth. It's just crazy. Now, a lot of people, especially ones who watch me, are fascinated by what is labelled as star thoughts. Come on, we know you are. So this is a snippet from an old video that I recorded a good while ago. Anyway, listen to this, guys, and I want your opinion on it, because most of you would have saw it, but it blows me to this day. Blows my mind, that is. Get your minds out the gutter, guys. So, according to the accounts of Archelaus Victor, Janus was the mastermind of the age which he lived. He was the founder of a city called Janiculum. It's still in opposite Rome now. It's one of the hills. Now, he taught his people the divisions of the year, which I've showed you already, is the calends, the use of shipping and money. He was the first shipbuilder, hence his name being Janus Noah, or Noah Janus. So you can see the significance, and also the rules of justice. What do we people always say? The maritime law. All from the shipbuilder, all from Janus. That's how significant, guys. And the mode of living happily under the authority of the laws of the walls. He also instructed them how to build temples and to honour the gods with sacrificial worship. Now here's the bit that even wowed me. He taught humans, us, to surround the cities with walls. Is that not what I've just showed you in regard to star thoughts? Could it not be? I'm not saying it is, but it could be. And that is one of the biggest wow factors for me, because there is a lot of people in the community looking at star thoughts, Tartaria, etc. And the guy, and you can see from the writing, is accredited with showing humans how to surround their cities with walls, is none other than Janus. Is that not significant? ask yourself why Tartary channels do not mention this evidence. Janus taught humans to build walls around cities. And another huge talking point in Tartary forums and channels is the I and J on maps and buildings and coins. And here's why. Now, people in the community have been basically theorising, debating for ages on what the I and the J represents. And along comes me with my theory of the Great Vowel Shift and Janus. As you can see a few examples of the I and the J on the screen. Well, I can tell you, it's for Janus, the god. This is what the period is all about. Remember, Janus is the calends, which calendar comes from. Then you get the statement, well, the letter J is a recent thing. I know. And you'd be right. The letter J was formed in 1524 by the guy seen in the picture. His name is Gian Giorgio Trissino, who was credited with the letter J. What do you notice? Yep, his name is a derivative of Janus, and the formation of the letter was in, yep, you got it, in the vowel shift period. It was all done by design. So let's finish with the Vatican, because obviously another significant thing about our reality is the Vatican, its power. Now, Janus was the first king of Latium and was the first pope, which comes as a shock to some people. And remember, I showed you how his ship and his head is on the coins because he's known as the first shipbuilder, because his other name is Noah. So it's, you know, all these things start to align. Now I'm going to show you some references for some books just to give you a bit of a flavour. You'd have seen them before if you've been on my channel, but when you start putting everything together, it starts to make more sense. And here we go. So, Noah, Italy and the Sea Peoples. In his Origine della Lingua Fiorentina, originally published in 1549, Pier Francesco Giambollara makes an astonishing claim that the language of Dante takes its origin from Hebrew, brought to Italy by Noah, the inventor of wine, who, known as Janus, settled and died there. This belief is repeated by Fabricius in the Codex Pseudegraphus of the Old Testament of 1713, and the same story is again told by Fuchs, writing in 1849. He accepts the legends are true, even as predecessors did, and quotes it, merely translating Giambolari's words freely into German, and even Toffanin as late as 1929. So that's just showing you that Janus went by the name of Noah too. So this is what I also wanted to show you. Like Noah's Ark in the Old Testament, the ship on ancient coins of Janus was held by Christians to foreshadow the symbolic ship of the Christian church. And Janus, Noah's choice to settle opposite Rome on the left bank of the Tiber, prefigured St. Peter's association with the Vatican, because Janus was the first Pontifex Maximus. He was also in effect the first pope, and Peter his successor. Peter's keys preserve Janus Noah's ancient association with doors. Now it's mad to believe, as these people are talking about, like Janus was the first pope, but what if they modelled St. Peter on a little bit of Janus? And I'm going to show you things to, you know what, pose right on this. So I'm going to start with his name. Janus in Latin is Ionos, or Ionos, Ionos Vater, which is Ionos Pater, Janus Father. That's his main name, Father. Right? Remember, Father. And obviously, he's number 11, associated with the doors. Now look at this. Does Pope mean Father? Title and etymology. The word Pope derives from the Greek, which I cannot read, meaning Father. In the early centuries of Christianity, the title was applied, especially in the East, to all bishops and other senior clergy, and later became reserved in the West to the Bishop of Rome, a reservation made official only in the 11th century. This 11 keeps popping up. People can say coincidences. I don't believe in them now. People have been screaming and telling me, no, Paul, don't say that. It's telling you they named the Pope Father for Pater, which is only not far off Peter. So that's what I'm trying to get at also. Did they make St. Peter in Janus's image? And I'm going to show you a few things on that now that you can, have a little think of then, I can see that. Because remember, here's St. Peter's Basilica. Remember what Janus is known as? I am chaos. Well, let's put a little chaos over the symbol of Peter's Basilica. And what do you get? Oh yeah, it fits perfectly. So they're showing you Janus is the church. Janus is St. Peter. And remember also, Janus is the path, the eightfolded path. Oh, so it looks like a wheel with 8 spokes. So again, you're getting everything in this in one. And I'm going to show you other stuff now from older videos, just getting that flavour of showing you, could St. Peter, they base St. Peter on Janus to fool us, to hide him in history. And we've got to ask, why did they try and hide him? Now, the Vatican has a special holy door, and that door is St. Peter's. Well, you know who St. Peter is now. And as we now know, Peter is father and the first Pope, Janus. But Janus also has another symbol. It's the IYI. It's a very old symbol used around Europe. And as you can see it on the holy door. It's the crucifixion. But it appears it comes from the holy temple of Janus. It's his doorway and posts. So there you can see just how influential Janus is. That even the IYI is from his temple. And what we'll do is we'll zoom in and you'll see a cockerel on an arch. Who's the god of arches? Now, people said the cockerel's associated with St. Peter because he denied God 3 times. By the time, the cock crows 3 times. And as you know, the St. Peter, so he's associated with the cockerel. There's he's holding the keys. But what if they've used it before, they got it from someone else? Janus is pictured here with the key and the cock. You can see they are both one in the same. And it's just wow, it just blows me away when you get down to the bones of it and you find out that it's all coming from Janus. So when we think of the Vatican, obviously the papal keys, the holy keys, the holy see keys come to mind. They do, don't they? The silver and the gold, the heavenly keys. Well, there's gold represents spiritual power, the silver, the worldly keys, and obviously the red string or rope or the cord is the papal bloodlines. We all know this. So I just thought, you know what, I'm going to put AU, AG, which are gold and silver, the periodic table numbers and letters. I'll put that into gematria, see what I get. And I couldn't believe it, I was shocked. 209, 2 and 9 equals 11. So silver and gold together equate to 11. Now look at these purple keys here. I've done it in black so it's a lot easier to follow. What number do they look like? Well, for me, each key represents 1. So 2 keys together represent, yes, you got it, 11. Just blown my mind. And a few weeks ago in the video I was showing you how 11 together, if you move them around, represent the cross. Surely it can't be a coincidence that all these numbers, number 11, equate to Janus, the Vatican, and everything I'm talking about. I'm just shocked, guys. It's like, wow. And then you just go to gematria and go, what's cross in gematria? 74. 7 and 4 is, you got it, another L11. It's just showing you, guys. I've showed you this for years, and now when you put everything together, even this, you just go, wow. The pine cone symbolises the pineal gland, which appears at the Vatican and on staffs or croziers they're called. And you see images like this thrown about the community. Look at the pine cone, look at the pine cone. Why has pineal gland on it? and then you talk about obviously the huge pancone that's in the Vatican courtyard. Now, I'd love to know why no other channels talk about how the occult name for the pineal is Janus. Why do we not see it? Look at the pineal gland. It's got 11 letters in it. That's a wow. But if you want to say the pineal gland, let's say the pineal gland. In gematria, it adds to 11. But what joins them all together? Oh, Manly P. Hall says, in occultism, the pineal gland is regarded as a link between the objective and subjective states of consciousness, or in exoteric terminology, the visible and the invisible worlds of nature. In the religions of the Latins, it was therefore referred to as Janus, the two-faced god and keeper of the gates of sanctuary. This divinity was the antitype of Saint Peter, who succeeded him as a warder of the heavenly portals and who carries the two keys of the office, one to the golden mystery of the spirit and the other to the silver mystery of the body. How wow and in your face is that? And I've been saying that and been showing that for years, and no one is talking about it. So you saw that about the pineal gland being Janus, the occult name. It's obvious basically once you learn that, and that's one of the first things I found many years ago. And something else that I found, and these are all in old videos, when Christ or Jesus gave the keys to heaven to Saint Peter. Now to me, it's not Jesus, it's Janus giving the keys to Saint Peter, because obviously Peter then is the archetype of Janus to be carried on. So why? You could give him the keys anywhere, couldn't you? You can give him the keys anywhere. So one of the most famous paintings they decided to paint, I think it's the Pantheon, the Parthenon or something like that in Rome. It looks like a pine cone. It's basically a pine cone. It originally had all copper roof to look like a pine cone. On either side you have an arch. You have arches, which obviously Janus is one of the gods of the arches, the god of the arches. It's why when you have anyone in charge, they were called archons after Janus. So it's funny that, isn't it? He's giving them the keys, and you have the pine cone, the pineal in the middle, followed by obviously the temples at either side, and you have arches. It's crazy, isn't it? And it always reminded me of this other neoclassical image that was done, and I want to show you that now. So obviously you've just saw this, and this is Janus meeting Romulus at the so-called founding of Rome. Well, we know who Janus basically founded, but hey, we'll go with this anyway. So you have Janus and Romulus meeting, shaking hands in a secret way. And think about it. I'm trying. So at the spot where they met is supposedly the founding of Rome. And let's just look through the arch, and that's the Church of St. George behind, and that's supposedly near the spot of the founding of Rome. We'll ignore the huge arch that is actually named after Janus. Yes, the Janus arch, or Germanus, the four-faced, the four angles. This is what they used to march through. It used to be four paths and used to march out of Rome. So seems funny that we have all these links with Janus and St. Peter, and at the so-called spot of Rome founding is a Janus arch and the Church of St. George, which, if you saw my video, was also including the Red Cross, and it was an intriguing video. Anyway, on to the next bit. So what you can see now is St. Peter, Father, being crucified. Now, he was crucified upside down because he didn't want to be the same way as Jesus. That is what the tale is said. Right, so I'll give you a few seconds. Where do you think his crucifixion took place? Now, I've asked a few people, I've had a few answers, and I want to add something to this. I'm not saying this is fact, it's just what I found, and I'm just showing you guys, but it blows your mind if it's true. So you've had a few seconds. Here goes. This is where Peter, Father, was crucified. According to tradition, Peter was crucified in Rome on the Janiculum Hill during the reign of Nero. He requested to be crucified upside down, believing himself to be unworthy of martyrdom. In the same manner as Jesus, his tomb lies under the high altar of St. Peter in the Basilica, and he had all that doors and ceremony before. So he was crucified on Janiculum. Sounds funny. Oh, the Janiculum was the centre for the cult of the god Janus. Its position overlooking the city made it a good place for augurs to observe the auspices, basically practice for the spells and different things. In Roman mythology, Janiculum is the name of the ancient town founded by the god Janus. And obviously they just mentioned the two-faced god. Obviously he has more faces, he has up to 4. So St. Peter, Pater, Father, was crucified on Janus's hill. No fishy there. That absolutely just blew me away, because I didn't know. I didn't look, but obviously I did when I was researching this video, the connection with Peter, the Father, the Rock, and it's Janus's hill. Oh wait, the feast of St. Peter and Paul, or Solemnity of St. Peter's and Paul, is a liturgical feast in honour of the martyrdom in Rome of the Apostles St. Peter and St. Paul, which is observed. Can anyone tell me what day that is? 29th of June. What's 2 add 9, guys? Yes. Adds 2. Yep, you got it. 11. So when am I going to not be called crazy? And when am I going to be seen? Oh yeah, you have a few points there, Paul, to ponder on, to say at least. So let's have a look at Janus's priests, the augurs. So there, I've just found 2 random images of augurs, and they're labelled Janus's augurs, but they couldn't be anything really because it's the internet. But I've talked about this many times. Look at the ones that they have, and look at what's always at the feet. It's always a cock or a cockerel or a chicken. Again, in reference to Janus, the cock at his feet, and St. Peter. Right, so let's have, you saw that, and intriguing. It's not like priests or bishops carry a crozier just like Janus's priests, do they? And basically wear the similar outfits. Apart from the fish hat, which obviously we know where that comes from, which is actually another name for Janus that I've talked about in the past. So it's funny, in it, all this connection to the Holy See, the sea with a vision, but also the sea in regards to the first shipbuilder, Noah, and Janus. Isn't that crazy? So you, in just this little link, you've thought about the keys, the pineal. You saw where St. Peter got crucified and he chose upside down, and he crucified on Janus's hill, and his feast day, the holy day, adds to 11. It's like I always say, you can't make this shit up. Going to end part 1 now, guys. But not bad for an insignificant god, eh?
Yeah, they call me the black sheep. You know they call me the black sheep.
Hello and welcome. It has been a while, has it not? So I have to keep it down. I've not been in too best shape myself. I just letting people know, not many people know I've been in hospital, but also I've been to hospital too with my daughter, who was rushed in as well. So it's been all go, been very stressful, but I'm still here, I'm still breathing, I'm still with you, so it is why it's been longer than usual. 'Tis the time. Children for you. It get very, very stressful, doesn't it? So I want to thank everyone for the love and the support, as usual, for watching the content, for basically just helping me by just promoting the channel. We're not too far away off my one goal, because when you hit different targets, we're not far off 30,000, which is a brilliant achievement considering not many people know of the channel apart from you guys who shout me out to the heavens. And I just truly appreciate it, guys. So I want to thank you from the bottom of my heart. Thank you for just being you, and thank you for having me back. Like always, I want to tell people, if you want to help me or the channel, I do have, the only thing I don't have no paywalls or nothing, I do have a buy me a coffee. The link is in the description, so if you want to go to the description, it's there. Don't set it very high, and if you can't afford it, don't worry about it. Just spread the message of the channel. That is also what I call food for thought. So I know some of you might be saying, not another bloody Janus video. It was so weird. I actually made a video. It was going to be a short one, basically just highlighting the 3 significant months in his story. And I saw something and thought, you know what, I'm going to edit this to include what the title is all about. Deus Deorum. Now, you got to ask yourself, guys, and ladies and gents, flockers, flockettes, whatever you want to call yourselves, what does insignificant mean? That's why I put it at the beginning. Now, it means too small, or unimportant to be worth consideration. Now, over the years, I've had many people email me saying, listen, Paul, I've told people other channels, because what happens is people like the other channels to take on this subject. Like any subject, I'll get message, hey, Paul, can you have a look at this? Because I like your take on it. So, you know, you watch your channels and different takes. People want to see what the other channels make of it. So a lot of people message other channels saying, hey, you know, Black Sheep does Janus a bit, amongst other things. What's your take on it? And a lot of the time, because I've posted on social media, the people get blocked or ignored and just refuse to get answered, or they get answered, Janus is just insignificant, so I'm not bothering with that. Now, these are huge channels, and I mean huge channels, dwarf my size, and people are following people with that attitude, which I don't think is right. And I had one this week just comment saying, listen, I've been blocked off a channel for recommending your channel. And they're asking why, what have they done for these other channels? I haven't done anything. People, you know, some people have said they like to use your information a lot in their videos, so they don't want to credit the source, because if they say, oh yeah, no, I know this channel, why is their information matching? It is what it is. I don't mind sharing, just as long as you give me a heads up or say, hey, check out this channel. A lot don't, but some do. Unfortunately, that's just the way YouTube works. So that is why I wanted to elevate this a little bit more. If Janus or Ionos or these other epithets goes by the title God of Gods, why does that not make people want to go, wow? Why do the Elshite call him that? They must call him that for a reason. Surely that's enough, because I can 100% guarantee if a channel, huge channel, came out and says Janus is Deus Deorum, God of Gods, the internet would explode. I've been telling you for 8 years, as you well know, guys. Nothing gets said, I get ignored also when people talk about Janus. I've actually been told to research my own stuff because I don't know. It's just a crazy world, and this video for me was like a coming of age type of video, if that makes sense. Some of the stuff I've revealed in it, what I found through Ovid and different things, has just reiterated what I've been saying for many years. It's like, you know, when you find air and then you see other people talking about what air is, you're like, wow, I wasn't going crazy. I wasn't just making shit up. I wasn't just winging it, which I am most of the time. But it's like clarification. It's like, wow, I'm not going nuts. I do see this, and other people are seeing this. I mean, for God's sakes, no pun intended, Janus was invoked at the beginning of all undertakings. And Janus was prayed to first. So, an insignificant God that gets prayed to before any other God. An insignificant God who conducts and controls everything. So if you want to pray to a God, they pray to Janus first, so that prayer would get to Z God. Bit crazy for an insignificant God. And to me, his story, which also contains a door, has been changed, so we do not know the true significance of Janus. People have always asked me, what do you think Janus is? Evil, good? Well, there's some of the stuff I've found today that I'm going to be doing in other videos on this, because I'm splitting it up. There's just too much. To me, it seemed like a good god. Now, hence the multiple faces. Does that mean the personas had evil? What is evil? But the devil at your door. Again, I've done a video on that a long time ago, showing the etymology connected to a door. January, I think it is, Jan and the U-A, I think, or R on the end. Janus in that form controlled both gates, heaven and hell. Hell heaven. Hence why I did that video a long time ago. So it's significant. The Elshite worship him or use him first, because if they worship any other deity or demon or anything, everything has to go through him. Hence why I've included the video on the bridge. People just wanted to know my take on that. It's not normally something I look at, because it's just not my stuff, is them decodes like that. I have done one on the Ocean Gate ritual, because obviously it had a gate in it. And good friend of the channel, and a big shout out to Steve, who sent me the newspaper article with the actual time of the incident, saying 128, which is in 11. And you just go, wow, so now you know why you find a lot of 11s and Janus links to all false flags, rituals, incidents, whatever you want to call them. It always got to me, because I knew this, but I didn't know this. You need that aha moment to clarify and connect all things. So the reason why they use Janus, because he has to be invoked first. So that's why you're seeing all these links to Janus, the number 11, and all these other numbers. They have to go through him. So the start of a ritual, depending on who a ritual is to, or an event being used by the media, and the media is the news, north, east, south, west, who governs the four cardinal directions, but Janus, and it was named after Janus's other liminal god, Cardea, cardinal directions, which I've talked about many times. So you can see why they use the media a lot, because it's news. And in an old video, I did the news, and it came out in Latin as the Latins. It never worked again. It's one of them weird things when you type in and it doesn't happen again. But I've talked about that. Strange enough, the news and Latins is connected to each other. And Janus is the daddy. So I tell you, why is no other channel looking into this? Because there's people with more brain power, more connectivity, more enlightened, whatever you want to call it. And these people are, more heads is better than one, as they say. And it's like they refuse. And one of the main reasons is why is because most of these channels laughed at me when I was doing all this Janus stuff. And slowly now you're seeing more and more people post on it. Yet, who do you not get referenced? Because it was only me who was doing this stuff. Now, don't get me wrong, there has been people doing videos on Janus 10, 20, 30, 40, 50 years on YouTube. You know what I mean? I'm not saying I'm the first, but I'm the first in the sense of what we do. No one's connected it that way. And it's just nice for your fellow peers to say, you know what, I want to expand on what this channel talks about me, but I've got to give them a heads up for the great work he's done. It's just nice. If you build something beautiful, you want people to appreciate it. And I put a lot of hard work, took a lot of hits from trolls, lost friends, you name it, for doing my content on this. You know what I mean? And you can't meet a nicer person, easygoing person than me. I don't demand anything from no one, apart from don't be a pedo or Something like that, you know what I mean? They, you know, have very small limits on my, you know, ask, I don't demand anything. So back on that bridge, what intrigued me was that what Steve sent me, and I have to say thank you to Steve, or Steve, how he wants to go. You carry on fishing, my friend. And so he started looking into it, and the bridge, Francis Scott Key, it's got a key in it. And I know that the guy was a poet and did the Star Spangled Banner, and the ship's name was Dali, or Dali, how you want to pronounce it. Now, yes, it is connected to Salvador Dali, but for some weird reason it threw out demon, and I know it does say it's not 100% convinced on that, but still, that has been cast, that spell has been cast, so it's out there for people to read. So it means demon, and obviously the incident happened at 1:28 a.m, which is the 11, the start of the ritual. Remember, Janus is connected to time. You know, people always going about Kronos. Kronos is just another name Janus goes by. I've showed you, all these other people talk about this. In Ovid, Janus is the only one with two heads at the time. Obviously that's his Bifron's face, but he's the only god who can look back and forward at the same time. Again, the bloody significance. And you're always trying to get your head around it. Why, if you think he is good, why is evil using him? Because they have to. It has to be invoked first. So you have that, and the owner of the ship was a Grace PLC Limited, and some strange etymology I mentioned that in basically theology terms was the unmerited gift of the divine favour in the salvation of sinners. Strange. I mean, you look at the word salvation, and obviously the ship is connected to Salvador Dali. Salvador, salvation, salvation door, Salvador. Salvation, and then the door, salvation door. And the ship was christened on the 5th of January. And you're like, wow. So they christened the ship in January, Janus' month. And you think about Salvador Dali was born on the 11th in March, same month as the incident, on the 11th. And he died, if I remember, in January. So he's connected to both that way. And when I look into these things, I'm just looking at it from my perspective, because I know about the connection to Janus and why they use it first. And even more so now, it's clarified a lot of things for me, this video, and I'm very, very, pardon me, very proud of this video. Yes, there's some old stuff that a lot of people will know in it, but when I'm doing a video, I have to cater for everyone. If, you know, you just come to my channel and I say Janus is this, I have to put a little bit in it so people can follow the story along. But also for me, who knew this information, added it with the other information, you're like, now I know why I've been saying that for years and not, you know, truly understanding everything I do now. So you had Salvador Dali christened the ship. The Dali was christened on the 5th, and that day of that christening was connected to crossroad demons. You have also Janus is in charge of crossroads, he's terminus, but also is part of his threshold is Hecate, who it governs crossroads. And to me, because I do watch old supernaturals, it's like, you know, you get an image of Crowley, the crossroads demon, obviously the king of hell eventually, but it's, you know, it's like they were making a deal with a crossroad demon. You know, it's just crazy. And when I've showed you in old videos of Janus and lions, because the lions are all an example of a gateway, an important gateway always has two lions. It's why I've been talking about Egypt and the Sphinx. There was two of them either side, and the Great Pyramid was behind it. So it's great entrances, or important entrances, have two lions involved. Now, people have talked about the white lion or the yellow lion, to the white lion of, is it Obama's film? I've not watched it. But yeah, Sri Lanka, which the ship was heading to on its flag, is a lion. So its destination was a lion. And where the ship was registered in Singapore is known etymology as Lion City. And its symbol is the merlion. So there's your two lions. And lions in gematria adds to 11. Janus is connected to lions, not from being one of his epithets of God of the Horizon. Is it Akaru, if I remember? I've done a video on it, so it's in the video category on my channel. And he's a God of Horizon, and the two lions looking each other's way. It's always been there. And the bridge, as people's commented, and I apologise for not mentioning your name, but you were just talking about the bridge because you live near it, and thank you for that. I did have it, but it's always nice when people actually show you some great information. And the bridge was opened a while later, but the actual date of the opening was adds to 11. Now that blew me away as well. So it opened in March 77, and it's 47 years from now to the accident which happened in March. And that was 11 years. And it's like, wow. And the bridge clearance was 11. And the ship hit the pillars, the 11s. And that was just my little breakdown on the ship, because I just wanted to show you, I'm doing a video about God of Gods, Deus Deorum, God of Gods, for a reason. And if people don't want to take notice, that's up to them. But there's so much in this, and so much going to be in the other videos that I'm going to do in it. It's absolutely rejuvenated me to research it, because it's like clarifying stuff I've said and theorised on, and not actually seen this stuff. So now I made the connection, but now I'm getting other connections to clarify that, and it's like, wow. Bonkers. You've always seen the significance of Janus. You've been doing it for that long. I mean, come on. The three major events in our lifetime, or just before, because I wasn't born for the moon landing. Yes, I do know, look. And all the 11s. Yes, Janus's epithet is Apollo. He's a god of the sun and the moon. And the first astronaut touched the floor was added to 11. And I know people will scream and it's fake. I know it's fake, but it's a spell. It has been cast. People do believe it. Doesn't matter if you believe it's not to be fake. The cast has been the die has been cast. The spell has been spoken. Kicking off and being triggered over it doesn't help no one. So all those connections with the moon landing, Janus, the the pandemic, one of the biggest rituals, the world got shut down in Janus's name. Wearing a mask doubles your face, giving you two faces, and it changed people's personalities because they were hidden. So it changed people's egos. And it doesn't matter if you didn't wear nothing or had no vaccinations, it's still a ritual to Janus. I didn't wear a mask, I didn't have none of the inoculations, I didn't do this. It doesn't matter. The world was shut down in a huge ritual. Its original name meant Roman crown. He's the first king of Latium. And people were arguing with this when I was doing this. You bonkers. Janus on the brain. I've not. My other 100 odd videos will tell you that. But I'll tell you what, you wish you guys were on the forefront doing this. Forefront, four heads, four sides. Like I was, because I saw the significance. I saw when you are called God of Gods, you don't call a fucking kebab the kebab of kebabs. The Deorum, God of Gods. It's something significant. Doesn't matter if you don't believe in it. They believe in it. If they believe in it, surely if you're a researcher or fighting for the truth, you want to bloody know why they worship this person or entity first. So then I've done something that I'd never ever done before, and that was the breakdown of Janus's name. In odd videos I've said his oldest name was Ia, basically, and I've never really looked at it too much because I just didn't want for people to go Janus all the time, because that's what you get, and it is funny the first 50 times, but not after that. So I broke it down again. Wow. So Janus is connected to the eightfolded path, the path of enlightenment through his name, because everything has to go through him. A to B, transitioning, the bridge, the gap, everything, the spell, all spells have to go through him. He is in enlightenment, the Godhead, the circumpunct. Hence why the oldest symbol for Masonry is the two St. Johns guarding the door to enlightenment, to the gold. Will not mention, I've been showing that for years also. Pat on the back, Paul. And again, most of you who've been following me have been through it all and have seen it all with me, and I just love that you guys have had me back. So you also have in the breakdown of the name, the obviously the Ya with Janus and all the Sanskrit stuff that I've just mentioned and mentioned in the video. Obviously IA, which I'll talk about after this, in regard to AI, transformation, the trans movement, but also turning us into computers. So you have the nus, the new in Janus, connected to new, nut, chaos. Ovid repeatedly called, it was the first ones to talk about Janus being chaos. He was the first, he was the beginning. He was the orderly, the order of the chaos, the orderly chaos. And I'm going to go in a lot into, maybe the next video, I might do his description and on other things, because something is blowing my mind. I'll let you into a little secret. It talks about why Janus was chained, because it's all about peace. So, you know, he got chained, he got imprisoned. So there's some stuff I want to look into that I've never heard before. But also, the nous, the chaos, also means mind, reason, ship and vessel. Janus is also known as the first shipbuilder, with Noah. It just blew me away. Ovid, Janus is the root of the universe. He is the heavens. He is the gatekeeper. The gatekeeper. Who is the Elshite's go-to gatekeeper? Bill Gates. It's actually named after Janus. And everyone, for some reason, has an affinity with Trump. Oh, Trump is Janus. You just watch my videos and you know Trump is not Janus. Janus is being portrayed, his traits of Janus through him, because he has to be first. The significance of Janus is God of gods. It's not that this person is Janus. We're all probably Janus. Do you understand me? But the gatekeeper is named after him. He got married on the 1st of January. One of his first names that he was going to use for Windows and the security was called Janus. It was crazy, and I just posted another one from Microsoft this week, which, remember from the old etymology and anagram, means to kill the basically infidels, something like that. Crazy. So the go-to guy is actually named after him. And it's connected to a lot of 11s also. So they're in all my old videos. And that just blew me away. And then obviously I found out through Ovid about Plotinus. Identifies mind, reason and intellect with a demiurge. So then you have a split. Is a demiurge bad? Or are these people trying to label Janus as demiurge so people do not worship him? You know, that goes with everything. I like just to show you the information, let you guys work out for yourself what your gut says. And then they go on to about, that the Janus is the logos, the word, the thought. And what is like the etymology of words? The root. Hey up, didn't you just say Janus is known as the root of the universe, the one verse, the one song? Yeah. And then in my old videos, without even knowing all this, I anagrammed the word W-O-R-D and got D-O-W-R, door. Then finding out that was an old word for oak, and one of the first words used for door itself was D-O-W-R. What can you say? But wow, how exciting all these stuff is. So think about it. Logos, enlightenment, the circumpunct, the symbol that the masonry use that I showed you. It's all bloody connected to show you, you know what? You're not far off the bloody truth, whatever the truth is. And so, you know why I do a video. I don't like saying that word because obviously it's connected to fides and confidence. So Janus is the root, and he is chaos, he is the word, he is the logos, he's the beginning. What better way to label him? I'll Google Janus. Janus is an insignificant Roman god of beginnings and doorways and gates. Guys that have been with me since the beginning know all the evidence that I've showed you to show you he ain't insignificant. And why everything goes through him, I showed you in this video, and I'll continue to show you. It's just, I'm just blown away when things, you know, come into completion. It's like, yeah, I've not been crazy. I've not been going nuts. There's been some truth to this. So Janus tells Ovid in his own words, because he was talking to Ovid. Now you can say bullshit. It can be bullshit. I have no way of verifying this. The gods were mingling, according to Janus, with us at this time. I think the last god to leave. Janus doesn't say he actually left. He talked about his imprisonment. Was is it Justice? I think it was Justice. Somewhere along the lines. I'll look on this for next video. But Janus tells Ovid he oversees everything human and immortal. So, again, is that sounding significant to you? Ask yourself, why are your other channels blocking you? Again, you can check my social media. I got a question off a long time subscriber asking why she gets blocked every time she mentions my name or Janus's name on channels. Why are they doing it? And so he oversees everything human and immortal. Now, whatever you see, Janus also says, whatever you see, sky, cloud, earth, all things are begun and ended by my hand. What do you say to that? If you found something like that, would you go, you know what, I'm not going to tell anyone, it's insignificant? You know, it's like anything. People talk about the television. Watching that, you're indoctrinated. You're using a computer. You're using a phone. You're using a book. Where'd you keep books? Library. We can all do that little television shit. But you getting books from a library. Huh? See my point? Everyone can do this little break it down word shit. If you're going to diss one thing, you have to diss it all. Or treat everything as information. Hence what I do. That just blew me away. Everything's by my hand. I know the ancients Now, this is an intrigue on who are the ancients. They're the other gods, were they the precursors? The ancients called him Chaos, since I am the first world. Now, his Latin words were basically, some of the Latin names that they were called them were archaic, ancient, old, old fart, and things like this. And it just intrigues me, guys. It really, really, really does. Now, yeah, you can say the information is just from that one source. It could be wrong. It can be. But it's information. It is a spell. We live in a world of spells. We live in a realm of where tulpanmancy, where you think, you thought in it, gets created, hence logos. What do you see when you go down the street and you look for something to eat? You see logos. They're just sigils or spells. The thought became reality, cymatics. For God's sakes, how long ago did I show you that cymatics, CY, etymology is IA, Janus is cymatics. The spell became physical, then hits the medium. Told you, bang on the money. Janus is logos, the word, mind, reason, intellect, the path, enlightenment, the door. Now, that blew me away when I say I am the first world. And obviously in all the videos I've used this, but come on, if Janus's name is oldest, one of his oldest names is IA, and you have M on the end. Now in olden times, that M was basically a wave, and it was formed for water, but also thought, memory, logos. So if IA with that at the side, and I was talking about this on social media, it's not facts, it's just me, thinking out loud. If Janus is moving, the spell is cast, his name is cast, and you put the movement toward it, that wave, the mem, becomes letter M. So I, or Ya, becomes I am. Who says, and who's been also shown etymology to be known as the path? To travel. I am the path. I am the truth. Justice taught humans law to live by the law. And I am life. He's otherwise known as he was there at the beginning. He created life. And he's there at the moment when we get conceived. And what is his name? What do people shout out? Oh my God. That was a joke, but it's true. People say, oh my God. Where did that come from? What else? Think about it. But we'll ignore the fact that the verse that was shown in was John. And John is a derivative of Janus. That could be just a coincidence. Okay. And the verse is 14.6. 1 of 4 is 5. Add 6 is 11. Are you telling me they are not trying to show you something right there? I've showed you etymology of Janus' name, it's a path, enlightenment, all that good shit. Then his name was IA, for God's sake. And I am the path, truth and life. I am the door. How many more do you need to be shown who was a god? One of the original gods. Why is he connected to all the other gods? For a reason. It just blew me away. And then when I'm seeing stuff like him talking to Ovid saying, I govern, I'm in charge, I am the poles. I'm like, wow, because if people have not followed me, a long time ago I found there was 2 islands. Janus Island in Antarctica and Janus O in Greenland, which is at the north, according to society. So you have two poles. What number does that look like and represent the doorway? Two poles. Now it could be physical poles in the sense of the, you know, axis mundi and all that stuff, or it could be basically talking about the electricity. You know, how this world creates its power, the ether. Now, you know, I've talked about that also in old videos. But it's just mind-blowing that him to say he governs and in charge and is the poles, two faces, remember? And I showed you that years ago. I'm like, hell, you know, I just got blown away, guys. And it's talking about Janus governs and in charge and is the four cardinal directions. And that got brought in the Great Vow 12 shift period. Again, connected to Janus. But, you know, the four corners, basically, it would have been. The four corners. And I believe it was different to what, you know, we attribute the cardinal directions. You know, north, east, south and west, or, you know, north, east, west and south news. As being the four corners. It's not, for me anyway. The four corners were just the four corners of this realm. The four corners. And in the Great Vow shift period, it got known as north, east, south and west. The cardinal directions after Cardia, who is another liminal god. And cardinals are named after her. So, and because north wasn't north was a man-made construct according to a map maker. So you can just see how that was brought in. But I'm referring it to it as a news that they love to use and spin. That's where they tell their lies. Their script. Is it lies or is it just another script that you're reading? Now, what always used to get me in the community is, for many, many years, people have been researching Tartaria. Now, in one of my biggest video to date, I don't like to reference it because YouTube just ruined it. And the reason they ruined it is because they put brakes on it. And I had other YouTubers saying, you've sold out. Not knowing that YouTube hold the right to put any ad in any video they want. It's part of the terms and conditions. But I'll just show you guys if you ever want to watch it. It's an older video, so I've learned a lot since then, but there it is. It's the top one, and has it moved down? The popular videos, yeah, it's the remnants of Janus, and you can just see it. The number one at the top there, Tartary, the remnants to Janus of Janus, got 230,000 views. Now in that I broke Tartary down, and it produced Liguria. Liguria is basically the main point where I found Janus in Genoa. Is named after Janus, and I'm just theorising that because Ovid tells you that Janus oversaw the golden era of humans. Now people refer to Tartar as the golden era. Well, he also taught humans how to put walls around cities. He's connected to stars and heavens as well, don't forget. Does that not sound like star thoughts to you? Now you can say yes, no, but it should be put in there, should it not? Taught humans law, to live by the law, maritime law. And another thing that people are always intrigued about is, why did they put I and J on maps and coins and buildings? Buildings, you only put them on the keystone. Not saying anything there, or the marriage stone or something else that they used to call them. Janus is god of initiations also, was one of the first things I found. But if I said to you, without names, right guys, so the god, the elite god, or one of them, is so important, he's named God of Gods. And that god is in charge of the calends. Every first day of every month is his. So not only does that God have a month that's named after him, he also has Feb the 1st, March the 1st, April the 1st, May the 1st, August the 1st, June, July, August, September, October, November, all them. You'd go, huh. So, the God of gods, who's in charge of the calends, which became the calendar, and his name begins with an I and a J. Why are people not associating that with that? And bingo was his name. Oh, again, why not? I've been saying that for years. Janus' Latin name is Ianos, and his modern name in the 3rd, 14th century turned to Janos with a J. Oh, well, they only brought J in X amount of period. Yes, I know. Do you know who brought it in? Giano, his name is Tricini. Gian is a derivative of Janos. Well, has no one else told me that before? I have been for years. That's the point. Why is this stuff not being passed on now? And I'm not saying, with all my humour now, I'm not saying this should be taken as fact. No, I think this should just be added to what people have come up with as a reason for that. The God is the calendar. Surely the I and the J, his name, should be attributed to that. I mean, he stands over the 12 gods of the zodiac, for God's sake. Astrology, he stands over that. Huh. Again, why is this not being talked about by more people with better theories, better thoughts, who could take it on? I mean, this is just part 1. And are you not blown away? Because I'm blown away. I've researched Janus like no one. And I'm blown away. And I get just so excited. And I just want to share it. That's why I also have done it. I'm going to do a part 1. I don't know when I'm going to do part 2. But I just had to get some of this information out. Because I'm just so... I get like a kid. And I don't like holding anything back. Whatever I say, I'll find. I'll show you. If you don't like it, you don't like it. It's still information to be taken on board. And for God's sake, no pun intended, someone called God of Gods, Deus Deorum, surely is worthy of your time. He is God of time after all. He even calls himself, they even change it, I am the ball. I am the earth. I am the Baal. What can you do but show people are not ready to listen? That's cool. I always want people to come to my channel and take the information if they deem it good enough for them. Because, you know, I'm no better than anyone. I'm just me. I am me. I am. Ego, ergo, is it ergo? I am, I. You know what I mean? And that was connected to St. George. I mean, the founding of Rome is named off on the spot of Janus' Arch and St. George Church. The cross is 11. St. George and Janus are all connected. I am the first. That's what St. George was also meant. Anagram of his name, I am the first. Janus says it, I am the first. I am the first in Gematria is 11. That's in old videos. And I didn't want to put too much old stuff in it. And there's a lot of new stuff in it. And I didn't speak for the first little bit because I just want to mix it up. Some people don't like reading. Some people do like reading. Some people like hearing my voice. So I mix it up. So it helps a lot of people. You know, it's very hard to make everyone happy. It's impossible. I just try and make myself happy with a video, and I've never been as proud as a video, because what I've been talking about for years and getting mocked constantly by the so-called fellow peers, and I won't lie, at the beginning years ago it did hurt, because I'm like, what have I done? And then you learn the rules of the game, and YouTube and jealousy and egos, and you just have to let it go. You know what I mean? My channel has been stuck on the same sub count for over a year, and it's only just started moving again because YouTube had just been playing with me. But you know, I'll never give up. Even if I mill, I will always come back until I'm not breathing. And I just need you guys to have me back, because we need help, and I'm not scared of asking for it. So what do you think of this? All the stuff I've included in this about Janus being the word, the logos, chaos, the connection with the Vatican that I've showed many times ago. Now that makes more sense. You know what I mean? It's just crazy. And I'm also very proud to be in this position that people will want to watch this. So I want to thank you guys. This is just part 1. There's other things I want to investigate, some cool things. I want to maybe look at his description and why he was talking about being imprisoned. You know what I mean? And war being let out. You know, there's some intriguing things there, and there's lots more to investigate. So please do like, share, and subscribe, guys. Helps with the algorithms. You know, there's no reason why you don't like it. You know, and a lot of, you know, thousands watch it, and then only a few hundreds like it. You know, it's not like they're gonna track you down, is it? For God's sake, just like it. It helps me. It says, you know what, you've enjoyed it. Obviously, you don't like it if you don't like it. And if you can, any help by donating, buy me a coffee, because I've not got members, I don't have a paywall, and any help just keeps me and the channel going. And you can do that by just going to the description, going down and looking for the buy me a coffee link. And again, all help is appreciated and thanked. And are you not buzzing, guys, by what we have found? Because I am. All the information I've put in the video, and I've been going on for far too long. So what I'm going to say, right guys, you can.
Get the fuck out of here!